Hey y'all, it is January the 5th, 2018, and y'all, I just want to holler at y'all about some stuff. It is about the Constitution, which we've been talking about. Some people know what I'm talking about. Alright, so I wanted to shout out on the internet, let you know that the rough draft is written up for what's I've described as a Caitlin Nicole Davis Justice Constitution. Alright, I have a rough draft read up. I'm planning to get a hold of Rod Stark or maybe somebody else, whoever wants to proofread. It really doesn't matter because it should go through the rounds. This Constitution, I imagine it a lot like how America is made, where everybody gets to say. We get to say what the heck's going on, what we might disagree with and agree with. I want everybody to get a look at it. I don't know if it's probably could post it on Facebook, something like that. I don't use Facebook very much. I wouldn't mind just posting it in some sort of public comments, but I don't know where to do that, where y'all would see that. Anyways, got a rough draft written up. All right, and like I say, it has nothing to do with me. It's not about me. It's just that somebody had to get the ball rolling, and so, I thought I would write up a rough draft. And the thing is, anything about it can be changed and should be discussed, and then things should be added as people see fit and stuff. But the thing is, what I'm saying, it is collective work towards progress. Alright, and I gotta explain some things about the dang Constitution, or some ideas that I have for it. Like I said, everything's up for debate. Or, everything's on the table, basically. We got this rough draft, right? It's basically like the Constitution of America, if you didn't notice. But, towards the end, you got some stuff concerning the activities and behaviors of people seen around this Caitlin Nicole Davis justice situation, right? Or whatever name that you might want to put on it. It came to my understanding a long time ago that all these here movements are dumb, and they will die out, unfortunately, and like they always do. Especially, or actually, that is to include movements that don't have one leader. You have to have one, and if the leader dies, well, then your movement probably dies. All right, so and either it's one person or it's a constitution. The reason I bring that up is because lots of times people will create scenarios where it's more than one people trying to quarterback a situation, and what that does is it causes great confusion. It does kind of stifle the movement. Absolutely, you need one person. AKA, whether you like him or hate him, and Donald Trump, the reason that his movement is one of the reasons it's so successful is because Donald Trump is one person, and at the end of the day, Donald Trump answers the questions, you know what I'm saying? Or doesn't answer them, however he feels. He gets on Twitter. What I'm trying to explain is this: there needs to be guidelines and some direction to this movement, or else we're gonna suffer setbacks that need not be. Alright, I want to discuss some aspects of this Constitution. Now, a lot of people might look at me, and I wouldn't blame them. They might look at me and say, he's kind of acting a little bit weird and funny, this guy, talking about a constitution, writing it up. What would be the use of that? Not only that, he's not doing it through the lawyers and the legal system and this and that, and he's not getting all sort of license and permit and copyrights and trademarks and stuff. So, who is he to write up a constitution and stuff like this, right? There's a lot of people out there who might see the situation in that light. And I don't blame them necessarily, but at the same time, they don't see the practical nature of writing up a constitution for a movement that's supposed to go somewhere. They don't see the practical nature of it, and I just want to explain that whether the legal system is involved or not, doesn't matter. The movement in itself, as y'all might agree, would be a whole bunch of different people, individuals. Whole bunch of individuals. I'm watching Ray. I'm watching Celestinos and Cherokee on the YouNow right now. I'm not listening too much what they're saying. I hope they're saying some good things. But like I say, it's filled up with a whole bunch of people. this movement. We're all individuals, and we're coming to understand that we don't agree on everything with anybody. It just doesn't happen because we're individuals. However, we all do want success. We all do want results. We all do want justice, obviously. Right? So we share that in common. And so with that in spirit, it's important to remember who also is working with you and who's working against you. Because unfortunately, like, that's a situation a lot of people have found themselves in. Now, as far as trolls, I believe we pretty much got it under control at this point. Right? Nobody cares about any of the trolls. If anything, we laugh at it and we cry about it just because we know how sad it is. With the trolls, with this and that, with people who delegitimize from within, the infiltrators. From these people, the whole movement has to abstain, and it can't be allowed to falter because of these people. Can't be allowed to be swayed or even slowed down, if you will, by the trolls, by people who really do mean to not work in the same direction as everybody else. Right, so you need a constitution in order to basically just call them out. You can call anybody out. You can call me out. That'd be the beauty of it. Is if one day you find I'm explicitly not following the Constitution of Caitlin Nicole Davis, which we all agreed upon, then therefore my legitimacy is over. It's done. Any authority that I would have to say on anything is stupid and ridiculous, because at that point I would not be following the Caitlin Nicole Davis Constitution, if you will. It'd be very easy, it's in black and white, to be able to prove to people, hey, listen, you're not part of this movement. I know that you might think that you are. I know you might claim to that you want justice for children and stuff like this. Meanwhile, all you do is troll up on the internet. All right. So, there's mechanisms that could be put into place for people like this, just so that we keep our eyes on the prize. Not only that, we're going to come across people all day. Like I've been saying, you're going to come across all sort of people, and they're going to say things that are going to offend you, and they're going to offend me, and I'm not going to like hearing them, and y'all ain't going to like hearing them, and they might be bad. They might be bad things, but at the same time, if this person who's saying the bad things that we don't want to hear is explicitly following the Constitution of Caitlin Nicole Davis, justice, then we would have no choice but to listen to them at least and hear them out and really see where they're coming from, and not to blow them off. Because there's a lot of confusion involved here. We don't know so much about suicide. We are all learning. We are all learning all the different factors that could play into it and stuff like this. Right? So therefore, a constitution had made itself necessary for everybody to agree on. Now we have some major players in the situation, and of course they'll be the first ones. They'll be basically representatives of everybody else. We got all sort of people who are interested and invested, and perhaps they could lend a voice too to the whole process of enacting this Constitution. I feel like we'll have it enacted pretty dang soon. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's going to be too hard to come to consensus on everything. However, I do believe that it's probably going to be very necessary to have one of those Google Hangout things where everybody talks it over, perhaps in a formal way, because this is the way that people do enact constitutions, where people have time to speak and people can represent what it is that they want in the Constitution or what they don't want in the Constitution, and they have time to share their voice, and people have time to really think it over. And I feel like as soon as we get this Constitution knocked out, the sky is the limit. We're going to, already, and it's not thanks to us, but already we've been seeing justice all over the place, in part thanks to us. Justice. All right, we've been seeing results, but we get a Constitution knocked out. Everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows it's about growth. We have no choice but to see mad results, even more results, Donald Trump type results, right? Where we win bigly and we keep winning and winning and winning. And when I say winning and winning and winning, what I mean is we convince young children that somebody's looking out for them to the point where they feel good about themselves and perhaps don't want to end their lives. right? Does kind of sound simple enough, but this Constitution, we got to knock it out, all right? Not for me, not for you, not even necessarily just for Caitlin, but for the world. It needs to be established that we're not playing around or playing games, and we're not some slouches, and we will not take, oh, your silly little nose for an answer. We want real answers, and we'll have them. We will have them. It is January the 5th, 2018, and I'll holler at y'all. Look. Anyways, I'll holler at y'all.